Welcome back to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. We are recording this at the State House in New Jersey on the day after the presidential election. A presidential election that a lot of people are saying wasn't called correctly by pollsters. And we have a pollster right here who is in the unfortunate seat of having to answer for all pollsters now. Ashley Koning, Dr. Ashley Koning, is with the Rutger's Eagleton poll. So what happened?
Oh gosh, well I will try my best to represent the entire industry right now. You know, I think it's a confluence of a lot of events here. I think this was a close race to call. I think we were within the margin of error, both nationally on a lot of states. And I think we need to recognize that Clinton did get the popular vote, as we're seeing in the news as of this taping today. So really the national polls did show her going in that direction. But I think there has to be a lot of kind of self-reflection in the industry now, and we have a lot of issues coming up in terms of low response rate. Why are, on average, only 9% of respondents responding to these surveys, or 9% of those that we originally contact? Is there a shy Trump effect, like we saw with perhaps the Brexit, or we saw with other UK elections in recent years? You know, did Trump supporters either not want to answer these surveys, or did they answer them in ways that were socially desirable to the interviewer? What's going on with race and interviewer effects? What's the difference between modes of whether we're calling on the telephone or whether somebody's getting interviewed online? I think these are really big questions the field is facing now, along with what good were these forecasting models throughout the election, and how can they improve for future elections?
Your self-reflection for the industry is fascinating to me. Is there an admission that you got it wrong?
I don't think there is an admission, or at least an admission yet. I think everyone is analyzing it both by the state and national level and also by the different components. And like I said, I think we see a lot of involvement of the margin of error, and that this was a close race, especially in the final days. I think it was a much different race where it was right before the election than where it was before the Comey letter and, you know, a week out from Election Day.
Let me throw out a couple of arguments in the pollster's defense, in the polling defense, and you tell me if these are valid. State polls are what matters when it comes to an electoral college. You can make the argument that they got the national poll right because Hillary Clinton did win the popular vote. The state polls, don't they lag behind?
You know, state polls, there's a couple things. I think either they could lag behind, or we don't see enough polling happening within these states, especially a lot of these crucial swing states that both internal and external polling saw Trump not winning, that he ended up winning. I think we didn't have enough polling going on there to really have an accurate picture or an accurate trend. You know, and on top of that, with these states, we just don't really see a lot of polling coming out of there. So I think, you know, it really depends on a state or a national level.
And this campaign, near the end, with 11 days left, took a dramatic turn.
Right, exactly.
Because of the WikiLeaks, and also because of James Comey coming out and reopening the investigation, and the Affordable Care Act premiums that were getting thousands of people across the country were opening that up and getting hit with that. And so you could see there was already a tightening of the race, which happens in every race. But all of a sudden, that momentum for Donald Trump accelerated. And when you take a picture of momentum with the poll, you're taking a snapshot. So you're taking a snapshot of, for instance, a car here, and then when you get it, the car's over here.
Exactly.
The end the last poll may be the election. So there's a good argument that you really didn't get it wrong.
Right, so polls are snapshots in time. We're not really meant to predict at the level that we're supposed to, according to the media, according to kind of common knowledge. You know, and I think we need to consider things like, who do these polls consider likely voters? Going back to state polls, or even the national polls, it all depends on the art behind the science of polling, the subjectivity of weighting. What models are we looking at from past elections? This was not a 2008 election. This was not a 2012 election. This was very different from those models. And if pollsters are basing their polling, their current polling, from 08 or 12, we saw a very different electorate turnout.
Are polls set up now for late-breaking events, or do you have to study that as well?
You know, I think it depends on when the polls are being done, and clearly we saw a lot of those polls coming kind of right on the heels of the Comey letter, and I think it depends on really who is responding to these polls. Do we see non-response bias? Do we see people hanging up who don't want to participate whether or not their candidate is in the lead? And again, I think it goes back to mode. How are these polls being done where we're trying to reduce bias as much as possible between that respondent and interviewer interaction? And who are we talking about when we talk about likely voters?
Now, you've been answering for the entire industry actually the Rutgers Eagleton poll did pretty well when it came to New Jersey.
All of us did pretty well in New Jersey when it came to New Jersey polling. New Jersey has been a blue state for a while, so I don't think there was really any ever question.
With the questions as well, you did pretty well with the referendum questions.
On the referendum as well, too, I think we saw an outpouring of negativity for the casino expansion, more so than most polling had shown in the months leading up to it. But of course, all of the polling was done right around the time where either the proponents had stopped the media campaign or right before they stopped the media campaign. So I think the absence of that media campaign on the pro-expansion side really revved up the negativity that we saw on that ballot amendment.
I know you're in the middle of doing another poll on Chris Christie. You can't talk about it a lot because it's not finished yet. You're still going through the numbers. Is there anything you can tell us?
Well, Governor Christie is less popular than Donald Trump in our state, including with Republicans. So I think that says something about where the governor is today with New Jerseyans, and I think that even says something about where he may land in a Trump administration. Probably far from the Attorney General spot that it was rumored to be months ago when he was the first mainstream Republican to come out in support of Donald Trump. But by the same token, Donald Trump may take that allegiance to heart and may try to give Christie some spot there. But, 19% favorable, 20% approval at home with New Jersey voters. This is the lowest of the low for Chris Christie, and this is just points away from the very, very bottom that we've seen throughout 45 years of polling New Jersey governors.
Thank you, Dr. Koning.
Thanks, Larry.
You're always very great. Dr. Ashley Koning with Rutgers University Eagleton poll. That wraps up Jersey Matters for this week. I'm Larry Menti. Stick around now for another thing.